Yo, what's up guys? So in this video I'm going to show you 5 different ways you can do a double lift. Now I know what you're thinking, why do I need 5 different double lifts? Well, the truth is, you probably don't, but it's always a fun idea to learn new things, and you never know, some of these techniques might come in handy for a particular effect you might be doing. This video needs no more introduction, you know what a double lift is, so let's get right into it. Okay, so this is the sliding double. It's loosely based on the Cliff Green double, in which you get a break under the top 2 cards, and then you seemingly push that top card forward with your finger, but in actuality you use your thumb tip to push it, but this finger simulates the push like that. But this sliding double uses no break. It's a breakless, no get ready double lift. So here's how you do it. What you do is you take your index finger and you push forward the top card like this, but in the action of doing that, you also use the pad of your, close to the crease right there, the pad right there, to push over the second card as well. So as you do that, you just push down, you apply a little bit more pressure and push up that second card as well. So you see there, I have 2 cards that are slid up, but that'll be hidden in the action of slightly tilting the deck up like this. All right, so you do that move as you tilt up and you come up, and then what you do here is as you tilt up, this hand sort of shades it as it comes over and just squares it like this as it turns over. All right, so it looks like you're doing this, but really you're doing that double like that. So it's a really nice sort of free handling, like I said, a breakless, no get ready double lift. Once again, this is the action. I'll show it to you once more. All right, so you push over that top card a little bit, you push forward a little bit, not all the way, because then it would be impossible to get the second card up. All right, so you do it a little bit, very gently, all right, with a soft touch. All right, so then as soon as you do that, maybe about the width of the white border at the bottom, there's how much you want to push it forward. All right, so as you do that, you just apply a little bit more pressure like this, so you can see that second card now being up jogged. You can see that happening right there. All right, so once you have that done, you just come over, you tilt up as that's being pushed. All right, so once again, you're here, push that up like this, and then you come over, and they can't see that as 2 cards because the edge of the card here is sort of pointing toward their eyeballs. All right, so as you come up, just come over and square it like this, just tap it and square it as you turn it over. All right, so that is the sliding double. There's a lot of applications for this, and you can even use it as a card control like this. All right, so you can dribble the deck and have them say stop anytime. All right, so once they do, you just do the sliding double to show them the card they stop on. All right, so I do the sliding double as you place that on and take that double out, and then show it as a double, put it back in, and then it's back on top. Alright, so the center double by Larry Jennings. Here's the action. So it simulates obviously taking a card from the middle of the deck like this, but in actuality you're going to do a double lift. Alright, so the mechanics of this is like this. It's sort of like you're going to do a riffle force, riffling the side of the deck like this. And then a good touch is some people sort of bend their knuckle under the deck like this. I think that sort of looks amateurish. I think a better touch and a more elegant approach is to just hold the deck like this in a loose dealing grip, your next finger coming up over the front like this. All right, so next all your 4 fingers are at the side like this, and you're loosely beveling the deck like this. All right, you're not gripping it very tightly. All right, so it's a loosely beveled deck like this, thus making the riffle a lot easier. All right, so to make the riffle happen, instead of doing this, you just sort of push up with the middle knuckle of your index finger. I think it's a more elegant handling. It's up to you. It doesn't really matter. It's just a little touch. Now for the double lift itself, what you're going to do is as you riffle down the deck, you just stop somewhere, and then what you're going to do is come over with this hand from above and sort of pinch the upper packet like this. All right, so get a close-up view of this. Sort of pinch the upper packet. All right, your thumb goes sort of in the middle, right around where this triangle is right here. All right, so about the middle of the deck on the side here. And then what you do is you sort of sort of pinch it like I said, all right? So this index finger goes on about the corner of the deck, as this thumb goes on top, about the middle, like this, all right? So you come over, sort of pinch it like this. Now as you do that, your thumb is going to riffle off 2 cards like this. It's very simple to do, all right? So with that downward pressure, it's easy to just pop off 2 cards like this, all right? So it's 1, 2, and they just hit your index finger like this, all right? So once they do that, your middle finger of this hand is going to come over and contact the corner of the card. Once it does, you can sort of relax your hand, and upon relaxing, it sort of just automatically revolves out, all right? So it's going to revolve around your ring finger. All right, so keep revolving that card until it's about right here. Now what you want to do is catch it right there. So you want to catch the other corner on your index finger like this as you revolve it face up to show the card, and that's the center double. I'll show you to you one more time. So once again, we are here, we riffle down the side of the pack, we come over in that pinch grip sort of situation like this, riffle off 2 cards, boom, boom, they hit the tip of the index finger like that. Now as soon as you make contact with that corner of the double card with your middle finger, just relax your hands, relax both hands like this, and that'll you just revolve it out like this, and then you sort of catch it on your index finger here as it revolves face up. If you don't like the sort of that revolving action, you can do a variation by Dan and Dave, which looks like this, all right? So it's pretty much the same thing, it's just a slight different handling, all right? So you do this, do the center double like normal, and you only revolve it around 90 degrees this time, all right? So once you do that, you just turn everything face up as you use your ring finger now to just push it out the side of the deck like this, and then you just push it out, snap it out, and that's your double. All right, so it's a very nice, clean handling of getting a card apparently from the middle of the deck, but in actuality, it's a double lift every time. This technique will take some practice. I mean, I've been doing this for years, and it's just one of those things that you just sit down and practice all day, and you'll eventually get really good at it, all right? So don't give up on it, because there's a lot of uses for it, and it's one of my favorite double lifts to do. All right, so this is the floating double, and what it looks like is it's a very elegant sort of soft touch of a double card. It's almost one-handed, all right? So what you need to do is get a pinky break below the top 2 cards. You can do that any way you want to, all right? I see a lot of people complaining about the thumb riffle, but it's a good method. I use it quite often, actually, all right? So don't let the haters steer you away from a good method, all right? So that's always a good one, because nobody's going to be looking at the deck anyway as you're talking to them, so you can get away with murder. I mean, if you can do a pass when they're not looking, you might as well get a tiny little finger break under the top 2 cards with your thumb. It doesn't matter, all right? So I've always had that pet peeve. Anyway, moving on with the double lift, all right? So what you're going to do is get a break under the top 2 cards with your pinky like this, and what you're going to do is use your fingers, these 3 fingers, to sort of squeeze in, all right? So they squeeze towards your thumb like this as your thumb presses down, and what this is going to do is sort of gets the air out of the cards, all right? So any air that's trapped in between this double card, in between, is going to get let out by this squeeze, all right? So once you do that, you just extend these fingers, and once they do that, it just slides off in a perfect alignment every time, all right? So it's just one of those things that works. Science, I don't know. All right, so once again, you're here and you have that break. It's also a good idea to sort of just relax and let it sort of elevate, a little bit, so to widen the break, all right? So once you do that, let the air out by squeezing like this. Thumb goes down, these fingers press in, and just extend those fingers, and that'll just slide out like it just floats out every time as a double lift, and you can get perfect alignment every time by the squeezing technique, all right? So that's the floating double. All right, so the spread double. So technically, all this is the Larry verse by, again, Larry Jennings. All right, so normally the Larry verse would look like this, all right? So you normally have a face-up card in the middle of the deck, and in the action of turning this face-up card over, you've actually switched it for a different face-up card, all right? So all you're doing is that for a double lift, all right? So this is the technique. So begin spreading cards like this, and it's sort of like an up and down motion like this, all right? So you spread through, just say stop any time as I do with this. And notice how when I take the first group of cards, I come back up as I push another, and I come back up, push another. That's important for that upward motion that's about to happen, all right? So it's sort of like conditioning them with that movement, all right? So say stop any time. Once they do, what you're gonna do is whatever card your thumb is on, all right? So you want to come over with this spread here, and just come over and butt it up against that thumb. So you're slightly aligning those two cards, all right? So you can see that happening. My thumb was on this card in a spread condition, all right? So I just come over and just butt this card, the bottom card of this spread, against that thumb. They don't have to be perfectly aligned, all right? So you just do that as you come up, all right? So as you do that alignment move as you come up, and all you're gonna do is turn this wrist palm down, and you grasp this double on this lower packet like this with your thumb. All right, so even though they're slightly, unaligned, it's not going to matter because everything is in motion. They're not going to see that discrepancy there. All right, so to turn it over, you can just, as you turn it over, you can put these cards on the table, and with this, to turn it back over, you're in perfect position to do that floating double like I just talked about. So do that squeeze move as that's turned over, place that on the bottom packet, do your magical gesture like this, and the card is back on top. I'll go through that one more time so you can get the fine details. All right, so you're spreading through, up and down, up and down, up and down. They say stop, and then as you come up, do the alignment move. All right, this is exposed view. That'd be kind of bad if you did that. So as you come up, that alignment move is hidden. Larger action covers a smaller action. As you come up, do the alignment move as they align, pin that double face down as you keep a break below it. Put these on the table like this, or you can just keep them in your hand, it doesn't matter. All right, just do that floating double squeeze move as you turn that down. You can put it in there somewhere like this if you want to, and there's a lot of things you can do with that spread double, obviously. All right, so a lot of fun to do, and I hope you like it. All right, so last but not least, we have the Drawback Double Lift by Paul Curry. All right, so what needs to happen is this. You get a pinky break under the top two cards, whichever way you want to, pinky count, or just doing it from the back. Either way is good, or you can do the rubber hoodan method. Just push over two cards, push them right back, get a break. It doesn't matter, all right? So the get ready for a double lift really doesn't matter at all right? So in any case, you have a break under the top two cards with your pinky. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna simulate pulling the card back like this, or drawing the card back like this, hence the name, the drawback. All right, so it looks like you just take your fingers like this and turn the top card over, which the reason for this, as Paul Curry says, is this is a sort of a normal way a layman would handle cards if you ask them to turn the top card over, right? So that's normally what they would do. All right, so he wanted to mimic that, and the technique is this. So you have your break, and what you're going to do is you're going to come over, and with these, it's with the webbing, the web of your index finger and your middle finger, all right? So what you want to do is contact the corner of the card against that webbing, all right? So just like this, just jam it in there, all right? So you come over, jam the corner in the webbing of your hand, and what you're going to do is you're going to apply pressure downward on the corner of the card up here by your thumb, all right? So by applying pressure down with your middle finger and the corner caught in the web, what you're going to do is just slightly move up your hand so the card's being sort of bent. You can see that being bent like this. So when you slide back, the card stays aligned, all right? So by bending upwards with your hand like this and just maintain pressure downward with your middle finger, and if you move back, the card just stays aligned as a double. It's pretty neat. It's like an illusion, all right? So you're like this, and the card just stays aligned every time. It's very satisfying, all right? So you do that, just pull it right back, and then just grab it and turn it face up, just like a layman would, all right? So turn it back down, and that's the Drawback Double. It will take a lot of practice, all right? So it feels kind of awkward at first, but once you get the hang of where the corner goes in the web of your fingers and where that pressure goes, or how much pressure with your middle finger, just experiment with it, and you'll eventually get it, all right? So one thing I will say is just don't give up, all right? So the more you do it and the more you play around with it, the easier it'll become. And that is the Drawback Double Lift by Paul Curry. Alright guys, so as always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me, so if you got value out of it, if you learned something new, do me a huge favor and hit that like button and sub the channel. Until next time, happy practicing. I love you guys.